Welcome back to the show, everybody. Check it out. Will your crypto survive? There's more market suppression and downward motion collectively for the crypto space. We got a lot to go over. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. You can follow me on Twitter at Dig Perspectives at the top of the screen and everything that we're talking about here today. Right now, we're looking at $1.259 trillion market cap. We may be off by 1.1%, but we know we're off by a whole lot more, with 3 trillion plus being the market cap high for crypto. Good morning, everybody. It is May 28, 2022. Bitcoin, 28,900 plus. Ethereum, 1,700 plus. XRP is 39 cents. I'm telling you, I got a 35, 33 cent number in my head. And if it happens, I'm going in. And I'm going in and I'm not coming back out. That's what's happening. Not financial advice, but obviously the market is off by a lot. And I think we all understand that it is the lack of clarity, now showing 38 cents right now for XRP and 38 cents on the bottom range and 40 on the top. We'll keep an eye on it. Ladies and gentlemen, crypto, gold, silver, IRAs, they are amazing. And it's I Trust Capital. They have no monthly fees and the best prices for what you want to do for your retirement. When I think of crypto IRA, I think of hammocks, soft chairs, palm trees, clear blue water, sitting on the beach, some drinks with an umbrella in it, and no cell phones, no calendars. How about that one? Yeah, I Trust Capital could make it happen. Check the link underneath the video. Take a look at this right here. This is a public service announcement before we get started here. Weird things happening on Twitter, and it wouldn't be the first time. This comes originally from TAIG, who was warning that digital asset investor, they follow each other, but just so happens the tweets from DAI were not showing for TAIG, and he showed an example of that here with the side by side. Then I happened to notice that watch out for Twitter. It's been unfollowing people that I've been following since they had a page like Crypto Law. Take a listen. Pay close attention, everybody. TAIG alerted us that there's shadow banning happening on Twitter. There's also unfollows happening as well. I've been following Crypto Law since they had a page. Now it's saying on Twitter that I'm not. Ridiculous. It really is. And, you know, when you let's extrapolate that for a second. Let's bring it to that's the private sector. Do we really want private sector completely in control of our money? I think this brings us back ground level to what Chris Giancarlo has been trying to tell us, that platforms, social media platforms, possibly like Twitter and others, I'll just throw possibly in there for the legalities, but nevertheless, I think we all understand that there are social media platforms that have been using censorship, which is really outsourcing certain objectives and mindsets for certain government party affiliates, I believe, and pushing party line agendas. You have to ask yourself, do you want money to be controlled by the private sector? I'm not so sure that I do. I think I am aligning now with Chris Giancarlo that I want to see a set of protocols, possibly XRP, XLM, adopted, held to the constitutional standard that we all deserve. Adopted by the government, held to the constitutional standard that we all deserve. And then from there, I think we can begin to move forward. This way, they will not have the opportunity to use censorship in the manner that we're seeing it happen through the outsourced private sector, like social media platforms. This is Charles Hoskinson telling us that he was shocked to find out that it is really a large group of people, special interests, that are really pushing for Bitcoin to get clarity and everything else be securities. I played it yesterday, but this is extremely powerful, and we're getting ready to take you through some more information. Stay with me here.
I really do want to close with one final point. I did discover that certain members of the Bitcoin community are actively telling lawmakers to write into legislation that everything but Bitcoin is a security.
And there you have it. And this is what my concern has been from entities like Digital Chamber of Commerce, Blockchain Association, Senator Loomis, Gillibrand, all of these people that have been working towards getting crypto clarity. I'm afraid maybe just Bitcoin, Ethereum clarity and let everything else be damned. That's the concern here. So, okay. So now moving on here, what we have here is, this is from, let me get into this right here because it's the AN Crypto. It says here, and this is Coy Garrison, who used to work for the SEC and specifically Hester Peirce here. And he agrees with her comments that we're not allowing innovation to develop, experimentation to happen in a healthy way. And there are long-term consequences of that failure. And Garrison jumped on to agree with her words, saying, I think Commissioner Peirce is spot on. And he also believes that SEC can do more in terms of collaboration. He said the SEC could be encouraging requests for no action letters. Now think of this. I mean, they could have done this for Ripple, a no action letter and then a safe harbor. This is absolutely two things here, a money grab and a power grab, jurisdictional power grab. It is pathetic what we're watching happen here, ladies. And here we see some motion. It's small, but we'll take it here. And this is over the Albert Metz supplemental report. And the deposition in the SEC is working with Ripple defendants to make the required payments. The amount is undisclosed. So that has taken place and they have settled that. Now, this is Evergrande to sell project in Eastern China for $200 million, saddled with more than $300 billion in liabilities. Evergrande has been struggling to repay suppliers, creditors, and complete projects. Now, the reason I wanted to put this in here is because, it has been cited that Evergrande could be China's Lehman Brothers, which is way back into the crisis of 08, right? 08, 09 here in the United States. Not a good comparison, right? And if it is, there has been suggestion that Evergrande is a part of what's backing Tether. And if that's the case, it could be very, very bad and a cascading effects. And think of this. If USD Tether were to collapse, if you think US Terra was a bad collapse for this space, USD Tether collapsing would, I believe, decimate this space in a very, very big way. It really would. Talk about going down lower. And that reminds me of Guggenheimer and Scott Miner over there at Guggenheimer, who said they are no longer holding Bitcoin. They bought it at 20. I think he said they sold at 40,000, and he doesn't see it hitting the bottom until it goes to 8,000. And if we understand that Bitcoin is still dominant over the crypto space, that should shake everyone to start asking the real questions. What are you holding and why are you holding it? By the way, stepping outside of that, how are those sanctions working against Russia, by the way? Well, I'll tell you how they're working. The Russian Ministry of Finance is discussing using crypto. And not only that, the Russian ruble is absolutely at its strongest. Take a look at this. Russian ruble is the strongest currency in the world this year. That's how those sanctions are going. You have to wonder, these optics, we're doing sanctions, to what end? To what end? And now Russia's Ministry of Finance is discussing using crypto for international settlements. I'm seeing opportunity here, knowing Russia is also in the BRICS coalition. I'm seeing the beginning of a new financial system birthing here, and it could be a very fractionalized problem that needs to be solved by something like XRP and XLM protocols. We shall see. This is more evidence here that Center standard stablecoins, beginning with USDC, Center co-founded in 2019 by Circle Internet Financial Limited and Coinbase Digital Australian Dollar, is a dollar. This is a letter on the Australian Treasury consultation paper and a secondary service provider. It is basically just echoing, we're moving towards this highly regulated space for stablecoins, private dollars. Digital Dollar Foundation reminding everybody that Ripple's smack dab in the middle of every single bit of it. We did play a clip from that the other day as well. We covered that and didn't need that. Sorry about that. But here I wanted to show you that the Biden administration is taking steps towards the digital dollar. Well, this is ProCoin News. You should give them a follow. I want to get down in here to this part right here because we know that they issued the executive order to do a lot of this work. It says if the change actually happens, this could be one of the largest financial changes ever since the U.S. went off the gold standard decades ago. It would then usher in a new standard where digital assets could be the next stage of evolution from a monetary perspective. The Federal Reserve has already stated that it would not move ahead with a CBDC unless it had full support from Congress. So far, only a number of countries in the world have so far actually implemented CBDCs or have pilot programs in place. However, that number is 90% of central banks are in some form of moving towards a launch of a central bank digital currency. All that to say, I want to go here for this because, we know that the Wall Street bankers are arguing that the Federal Reserve launching its own digital currency could crack the foundation of banking as we know it. But remember this, banknotes themselves didn't always exist. There were currencies created in different parts of the country before the Federal Reserve was put in place. In fact, largely, that's why it was put in place, to create this uniformity for banknotes. You remember the song, I Owe My Soul to the Company Store? You might not, but if you don't, what that was really referencing is like the old coal miners that used to work in a town were issued tokens or coins from that coal mine. And guess what? The coal mine also owned the local store. And you would have to use those coins at the local store for goods because they didn't have any value in another town. And you could never really move from the actual town you were in because the money was only good in that area. Hence the Federal Reserve banking system uniformity of banknotes. This is the next generation, the next iteration of that expansion of banknotes. It's digital currency. It's CBDCs. Private stable coins, I think they can certainly play a role and coexist. However, they have to be at a heightened standard of supervision and regulation because if they're not, we're really talking about a new version of counterfeit money, just digital. Mastercard's Harold Bossé explained that crypto assets need to go invisible by integrating into existing financial systems. Now, here it is right here. Here it is, right? This is it. Again, the market is down. We got Guggenheimer, Scott Minerd, and others saying that we're not even at the bottom yet. Bitcoin could see $8,000. If there was ever a time that you should take a moment and sit down and say, now, what am I holding? Why am I holding it? What problem does it solve? If trading went away on the assets that I hold, will use case utility move the asset forward with adoption? These are things that I ask myself. It's not financial advice, but it's certainly my digital perspectives in this moment. And I am analyzing very crucially and critically what I'm holding. And I'm trying to do it without any emotion, which is hard to do when you've done so much research about certain assets like I have with XRP and XLM. But I highly believe in them. I feel good about the ultimate long play for the asset. And this is something that he is pointing to here because I believe those assets will work in tandem in back-end systems to make a more smooth, ubiquitous experience, not only for the customer, but for the businesses and the banks around the world. And that's why I'm holding those assets in particular. They are the big ones for me in there. Now, taking a look at this is more reminder because we know that there's a lot going on with XRP, but don't forget what's going on with XLM. Janelle Dixon, next month, our solution with MoneyGram International will be live. It is unprecedented the scale and reach this product will have, creating access for millions of people around the world. Now, what's interesting here is that we know that we saw this test also happen with Ripple and XRP, and then obviously we were sued and they had to dissolve that partnership. But I also believe that it was a test for regulators to see that asset working in very, very real time in a a very real productive way. So this efficiency, I believe, is going to be experienced by Stellar too, and that is extremely exciting as well. So lots coming down the pipe, but will you let the market scare you? Because we could be more down than we are up, and it shows it right here on this chart from XRP-Crypto. Look at the RSI here, just absolutely oversold, which means we got a lot of room to go on up. However, we could continue to fall. We know from CoinsKit, and just as well as this chart here and the fibs that are showing here, 23 could get hit, right? We could see it dip all the way back to 10 if it wanted to, because we see that bottom right here. So, none of this falling off the cliff here is really off the table at this point. And if we were to see, just very quickly in closing, if we were to see Gary Gensler sue a couple DeFi lending platforms, maybe even a crypto exchange or two, maybe over the U.S. terror collapse, what would that do to the market? Would that help it get to 23.10 cents? I think it could. And Bitcoin to 8,000? Certainly these things could become catalysts, fundamental news, real things happening to make us and force us to even more of a bottom. And then regulation come in sometime afterwards. We'll see how this shakes out. But I tell you, it is certainly a time of reflection right now. I wish everybody a happy Saturday, and I'll catch all of you on the next one.